Om Sadashivasamaramбhaम् Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Virjam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave Brahma Vidyacharya Nachiketase cha. The last time we were looking at this mantra number Gita Press page 117, move to 118 actually, and then your PDF page 33. Taha we have to resume. So let us read the mantra once. Na pranena panena
Na pranena panena
martyo jivati kaschana
matyo jivati kaschana
itarena tu jivanti
itarena tu jivanti
yat itarena tu jivanti
itarena tu jivanti
yasminnetavupashritau.
yasminnetavupashritau.
Okay, let's recap. So if you recall, Bhagavan Shankaracharya gave an introduction to this mantra where the objection was raised. You're saying that the body survives because of Atma, but the whole world people know body survives because of prana, something called prana, respiration, heartbeat, so many things are there. So when people understand this body's survival based on that prana, you are introducing a new word called Atma, and which nobody knows. And you just, it's called Gaurava dosha. Gaurava dosha means what? You can't introduce something more complicated. You can't explain something by something more complicated when there is a simpler way of explaining a situation. Okay, that's very simple. And so keep it simple, they say, His principle. I remember they used to tell me, keep it simple, stupid, something like that. They used to. So that is the objection. Literally, that is the objection. Keep it simple. That's what he's saying. And so there is no need to introduce Atma and all. Then the first half we studied na pranena na apanena martyaha jivati kaschana. So this is where our our Siddhantis shine. So they say, that's what most people think. That's what he's saying. Saying prana. Prana is what sustains the body. Yeah, on the surface, that's what it looks like. But then that samhata nyaya has to be brought in. Okay? Samhata nyaya. What is the samhata nyaya? Anything that is put together, anything that cannot independently exist, such a thing really cannot sustain anything else. That is the idea. It may be a part of an assemblage or it itself is put together. Either way, you look at it. This put together stuff is going to be achetanam. Number one, anything that is put together in Sanskrit, the word is what? Samhatam. Anything that is samhatam is going to be achetanam. It's going to be inert. And how can that an inert thing, prana is inert or chetanam? If I ask you, what will you say? Prana is also achetanam. Hey, how can achetanam vastu provide chetanatvam to the body? Provide consciousness to the body? Not possible. That is one reason. And second thing is, anything that is samhatam is always paratantram, is always meant for something else. That something else cannot be samhatam, it has to be asamhatam. It cannot be a put together entity. It has to be a self existing entity. Okay. And that self, that other thing should also be chetanam. This is the logic. This is the logic, right? So, with that logic, he, Bhagavan Shankaracharya, commented here, न प्राणेन अपानेन चक्षुरादिना वा मर्त्यः मनुष्यः देहवान् कश्चन जीवति grihadinam, like a house, etc. Any part of the house cannot really sustain the house. There has to be a swami. Grihas swami has to be there, for whom the house is meant for. Without whom the house cannot exist for too long. I mean, this is a Laukika example. So there, you can't stretch the example too much. Only purpose there is, I mean, the house can survive without the Swami for a little long, for some time. But that part you don't take. The house is always meant for somebody else. Its existence depends on somebody else. Okay, that's the way to take that example. Until that we studied. Okay, now let's read the Bhaashyam. He's going to do he has to conclude by saying, okay, so what? So what should he has to refer to Atma somehow. We'll see that. Okay. Who wants to chant next?
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody else, go ahead and mute yourself, please. Rama, Surendra, mute yourselves. Ataha
Ataha
itarenaiva
itarenaiva
samhata
samhata
pranadi vilakshanena
pranadi vilakshanena
tu
tu
sarve samhataha santaha
sarve samhataha santaha
jivanti
jivanti
pranan dharayanti
प्राणान् धारयन्ति
yasmin
यस्मिन्
samhata vilakshane
संहतविलक्षणे
atmani sati
आत्मनि सति
parasmin
परस्मिन्
etau pranapanau
एतौ प्राणापानौ
chakshuradibihi
चक्षुरादिभिः
samhatau
संहतौ
upashritau
उपलक्षितौ
upashritau.
उपाश्रितौ.
Yeah, we'll put a semicolon or a full stop there. So he's saying ataha, therefore. So there we split a lot of words there. So when I come to it, I'll explain. Ataha, therefore. Therefore means what? Because anything that is put together, any assemblage, however minute or small that assemblage is, prana is minute, but it's put together. Why? It is pancha bhautikam, all that we saw. Drishyatvam is there, right? It is an object of your perception. Prana is an object of your perception. The doctor can sense prana. You can sense prana by touching the nose. So all that prana, respiration. So it's objectified. Drishyatvam asti, then panchabhautikam, Means it is a product put together by the Panchabhutas, Panchabhutikam. Then Sagunatvam, Savikaratvam, Agamapaitvam. These are all these 5 attributes of anything that is put together. All right. So because of that, anything that is put together has to be achetanam, and it cannot really sustain this human body meant for somebody else. Because of that reason, ataha itarena eva samhata pranadi vilakshanena tu sarve samhataha santaha. He is saying, therefore, all these survey, not SURVY, this population survey. This survey is all beings, samhataha, santaha, all the beings of this world survey. Itarena tu, itarena. Itarena means what? By something other than the prana. Itarena. By something other than. Shankaracharya explains what is the meaning of something other than. Other than alone, eva means what? Samhata pranadi vilakshanena. Hey, prana, which is samhatam, which is an assemblage, which is a conglomerate, okay? Something vilakshanena, other than, distinct from, something that is distinct from this assemblage called prana and anything else you want to bring up. Pranadi. Okay? Only by something other than the prana, all the beings jivanti, survive, live. Okay? Live means what? Shankaracharya explains to us as though we are going to struggle with that. Pranan dharayanti. He is saying that. Pranan dharayanti means he's jivanti, live, okay. But that prana which you said is the cause of the survival of this body, that prana also requires something else to do its job, pranatvam job. That is why he's saying here. Pranan dharayanti. Okay. So something sustains the prana, the respiration, and then respiration sustains the body. Okay, that we can have. Okay. So uh, that is how Shankaracharya is explaining it. And then yasmin. And when what? In which means when, in what? In which means in that distinct entity which we have not named yet, that distinct entity. And Shankaracharya is explaining samhata vilakshane, which is distinct from all the things that are put together in this universe. Samhata vilakshane, which is not at all samhatam, it is not an assemblage, it is pure. It has to be something that is homogeneous, at all I can use the word, because there are assemblages also which can be homogeneous. You can just mix something up and then finish it up in such a way that it looks like one entity. But here, samhata vilakshane, distinct from that, something that is put together, okay? And it is what? Atmani, Tati, Parasmin Atmani. That, in that distinct entity, which is Atma, Parasmin, which is absolute. Which is absolute means what? Which doesn't depend on anything else for its existence. Atma cannot depend on something else for its existence. Then that something else becomes the Atma. You give up this one. So finally you end up with Atma. Okay. So Samhata Vilakshane Atmani Sati. Sati means uh, existing. Sat means existing. Atma that exists, that is absolutely existing, that is independently existing. Correct? That is Satyam. We know Satyam. So, in that, Yasmin, Ketau Pranapanau Chakshuradibihi Samhatau Upashritau. Yasmin, in that Atma, Only this prana and pana that you talked about in the first line of the mantra, na pranena, na apanena martyo. Previously also he said pranam and apana. So that prana and apana, prana is what? Respiration. Apana is excretion. Okay. And so those two things, prana, apana, and anything else also, chakshuradibihi, means along with all the sense organs, along with everything that you know about this body, all the functions, eyesight, chakshuhu, adibihi, along with all these things, this prana, apana, or what? They are samhatau, these prana prana, which are samhatau, which are assemblages, upashritau, are resting on. In that Atma only, then the Atma only supports, which are supported by the Atma. Prana prana are supported by that Atma. That is how it can be. It can't be anything else. So it's supported. Main things are Sat and Chit. Sat is existence. Chit is consciousness. And so for both Sat and Chit, because that is what they need. All objects are finite. They are not infinite. They are not, nothing is infinite except Akash. Akasha is all pervasive. Hiranyagarbha, all that we talked about. And so, but for prana and pana, for its existence and for its movement and activity, it depends on Atma. That is what is being said here. Let's read, continue the Bhaashyam. Yasya. Yeah, Ramuji, go ahead.
Okay. Yasya
Asamhatasyarthe.
asamhadarte
Samhatasyarthe.
hadasyarte
Pranapanadihi.
pranapanadihi
Svavyaparam.
svyaparam
Kurvan.
kurvan
Vartate.
vartate
Samhataha san.
samhatah san
Saha.
taha
Tataha anyaha siddhaha.
tatah anyah siddhah
Iti abhiprayaha.
iti abhiprayah.
He's concluding. Iti abhipraya. That's the meaning of the whole mantra. That is the meaning. He's going to conclude. Okay, so let's see what is abhipraya. Yasya asamhatasyarthe prana panadihi swavaparam kurvan san asti. Kurvan asti. Vartate. So that means Atma is the one for which, Atma is sustaining prana, pana, and everything else in the body. Atma is sustaining, Atma supports, Atma gives everything that is needed for prana and pana. Okay. Yes, yeah, for that Atmana. And that is asamhatasyarthe. For that prana, pana, which is, let's do it this way. Yasya vyaparam kurvan vartate. Okay. Vyaparam kurvan. Hey, that pranapana is operating constantly. Everybody is operating, pranapana is operating, and constantly vyaparam kurvan vartate. Okay. Uh, Pranapanadi is samhataha san. Pranapadi is, there are pranapana are all assemblages. Okay. Assemblages are doing a great job. Okay. They are doing very well. And they are doing well. But the one for whom they are all working, that yasya, which is asamhatasya, which is not put together, which is not created. Okay, now I'm introducing a word created. Put together means created. That is why Ajo Nitya Shashvatoyam Puranaha na Hanyate na Hanyamane Sharire. Ajaha, which can't be born. The minute you say it is born, then it becomes Samhatam. So that Atma which is Asamhatam, for which prana, Asamhatasyarthe means what? For which Atma, the prana panadihi are all working. Swavaparam kurvan sana. Okay. Saha. Saha. Okay. Saha means what? That Saha, that Asamhataha, that Atma. Atma introduced in the previous sentence, Shankaracharya. Saha. Tataha anyaha siddhaha iti abhipram. That Atma, tataha means from that pranapano, which you objected, saying pranapana is that which sustains this body fundamentally. No, no, tataha. Tataha means what? Pranapanabhyam. Pranapanabhyam anyaha. Other than, distinct from. Atma is distinct from those prana, pana, and anything else you want to claim. Siddha. It is established that Atma has to be, Atma is something other than prana, pana. Okay. Iti abhiprayaha. So now you know why the logic again we can review. Why? Because pranapana is samhata. Samhata means it is achetanam, it is jadam. Achetanam cannot produce a chetanam body, conscious body. And pranapanadi is also paratantram. It is never for itself. It is always for something else. And whereas Atma is swatantram. Swatantram, it doesn't depend on anything else. And whether mithya exists or not, Atma continues to exist. Whereas prana, pana is not like. And therefore, that is the logic used here. So, what is the essence of this mantra? The human, let's say human being or living being, does not live because of prana and pana. The human being lives because of something distinct from prana, pana called Atma. It is not something that is within bracket. All right. Let's do the Anvaya for this mantra. Kaschana Martyah Kaschana Martyah Pranena Na Jivati. Semicolon Apanena Na Jivati. Apanena Na Jivati. That last Jivati must be within brackets. Full stop. Because the word Jivati appears only once in the mantra. In the first line. Kaschana Martyah Pranena Na Jivati. Apanena Na Jivati. Full stop. Itarena. Itarena. Within brackets, samhata pranadi vilakshanena. Samhata pranadi vilakshanena within brackets. Itarena tu. Next word is tu. Itarena tu. Martyaha jivanti. Martyaha jivanti. Martyaha to be supplied. Itarena tu martyaha jivanti. Yasmin atmani. Yasmin atmani. Etau upashritau. you want, you can add pranapanav. Etau pranapanav upashritau. So let's repeat that. Kaschana mathyaha pranena na jivati. Apanena na jivati. Itarena samhata pranadi vilakshanena tu martyaha jivanti. Yasmin atmani etau upashritau. Correct? Okay.
Guruji, how does samhata pranani vilakshanena tumatyaha jivanti? I'm not getting that.
So distinct from prana. Beings live supported by something that is distinct from. Distinct from. Vilakshanam is distinct, right? Distinct from what? Samhata prana. The pranadi, prana, etc., which are put together, which are assemblages. Okay, next mantra. Thanks. We'll elaborate that on that Premaji. The satsang will be like. Antata idam pravakshyami.
Antata idam pravakshyami.
Guhyam brahma sanatanam.
Guhyam brahma sanatanam.
Yatha cha maranam prapya.
Yata cha maranam prapya.
Atma bhavati gautama.
Atma bhavati gautama.
Antata idam pravakshyami.
Antata idam pravakshyami.
Guhyam brahma sanatanam.
Guhyam brahma sanatanam.
Yatha cha maranam prapya.
Yata cha maranam prapya.
Atma bhavati gautama.
Atma bhavati gautama.
Hey Gautama. Hey Nachiketa. Okay. Hey Nachiketa. Yama is saying, Idam pravakshyam. I will tell you this. I will tell you. Okay. What will I tell you? This Guhyam Brahma, Sanatanam Guhyam Brahma. I will tell you. I'll tell you about the nature. Some of it has already been told to you. Najayate, Mriyate, all that was said. But still, there is a few more things I want to tell you. I'll tell you that Atma Swarupam. I'll tell you. Yathacha Maranam Prapya Atma Bhavati Go. That also I'll tell you. Hey, after death, what happens to Atma? That also I'll tell you. Okay? Okay. So, we have to see that, Brahma Atma doesn't do anything after death. Two kinds of Atma are talked about. What is the two kinds of Atma? Hey, wait a minute. I thought there was only one Atma. How did it become two? Sometimes in class it becomes two. But anyway, Atma, Brahma, Nirgunam Brahma is one. And so that is what is mentioned in the first line. But then there is an Atma that travels also, that Jiva Atma. So an Ajnani's Atma, Jiva Atma travels. That is a finite Atma. So that also I'll tell you. The infinite Atma I'll talk to you about, and the finite Atma also I'll tell you. Okay. Like that, he is introduced. All right, let's read the Bhaashyam. Hanta. Hanta, the word we have seen. Where have we seen Hanta?
Rajvidya Yoga.
Bhagavad Gita. What's up?
Rajvidya. 9-1.
Rajavidya.
9-9-1.
9-1, huh?
Yeah.
Kathayishyami.
Hantate kathayishyami
Oh, sir.
divyakhyatma vibhutayaha Yeah.
11th.
Vibhuti Yoga, correct. 10th chapter. Pradhanyata Kuru Sreshta. Like that you get. So Hanta has many meanings. And
I am Hanta.
let's see what Shankara says. Okay. Hanta
Hanta
Idanim Punarapi
idanim punarapi
Te Tubhyam
te tubhyam
Idam Guhyam
idam guhyam
Gopyam Brahma
gopyam brahma
Sanatanam
sanatanam
Chirantanam Pravakshyami.
chirantanam pravakshyami.
Yeah. Anta. Pravakshyami, we said. Pravaksha means I will tell you. I will tell you clearly. I'll tell you everything there is. I won't leave out anything. That is the meaning of Pravakshyami. Anta, Anta. Them has several meanings. Here, Shankaracharya is saying, Idanim Punarapi. Right now. Well, sometimes they say, well now. They use all these words to say, okay, well now. Continuing our discussion. Moreover, now, so that is the meaning of Hanta. It's a typical usage in Sanskrit, which comes like that. Well, let me continue. Now, Idanim, Punarapi, once again. Once again means what? Hey, that means I've already told you, but I had to. It will sound like a repetition. Okay, it will sound like a repetition. Why repetition? Hey, in Shastram, you need a lot of repetition. Repetition is reinforcement. Really, it's not repetition. We have to keep hearing the same thing again and again. So it reinforces, because we need a lot of reinforcement of this Atma Tattvam. So Idan Hanta is equal to Idanim Punarapi. All right. Te idam guhyam brahma sanatanam pravakshya. I'm going to tell you. Te means to you, tubhyam in Sanskrit. Namaste is also fine. You can also tell when you do like this to somebody, you can, for a change, you can say Namastubhyam. Like that you can say. You can surprise them. Hey, what is this Namastubhyam? Namastubhyam is Namaste. Te means to you. Namaha, salutations to you. And so Shankaracharya is in a good mood. Idam, good mood means what? As though he's in a bad mood. No, he's not in a See, we have to be careful what we say. Okay. Te tubhyam idam guhyam. This guhyam is equal to gopyam. Gopyam. Gopyam means sometimes they say secret. Gopyam. Not easily comprehensible. That's the idea. It's the most open secret. Brahma is the most open secret. And so it's not easily comprehensible. Gopyam. And what is that? Brahma. Brahma. And which is Sanatanam. Sanatanam is equal to Chirantanam. Chirantanam, same meaning, which is eternal, Nityam. There is the only thing in this universe which is eternal, Nityam, also called as Vastu. And that I will tell you. I will tell you about that. Okay, let's read the next one. Yad Vijnanat
Yad Vijnanat
Sarva Samsara
Sarva Samsara
Uparamaha
Uparamaha
Bhavati
Te
Avijnanat Cha
Avijnanat Cha
Yasya
Yasya
Maranam Prapya
Maranam Prapya
Yatha Atma Bhavati
Yatha Atma Bhavati
Yatha Samsarati
Yatha Samsarati
Tata Shrunu He Gautama.
तथा शृणु हे गौतम.
Yeah. So why should you know all this? Sanatanam, Gopyam, Guhyam, Brahma. Is it of any use to me? Yes, it is of some use to you. Shankaracharya is explaining. Yad Vijnanat, knowing that Sanatanam Brahma, Sarva Samsara Uparamaha Bhava. This samsara, this life. In the last class, we were talking about life. Life means like a life of an auto rickshaw, just going round and round and round and round and going, coming like that, Autobiography of an auto or biography of an auto rickshaw is the autobiography of a human being, right? That's how we discussed last time. And so, like that, this guy constantly problem solving, doing something or the other. Then another problem comes. Then you have to solve that problem. Another problem comes. Solves. This is how life is. Can we be any better than that? We can't be any better because this artha and kama just consumes us over. Whole life is over. Artha, kama, dharma, and dharma over. This is life, and this will just continue forever. How can it change? It can't change. He's saying sarva samsara uparama. Uparama means cessation of, shanti, that thing, the removal of, shanti of that samsara, the nivritti of the samsara. Okay, cessation. Okay, if you want to use an English word, bhavati. How is it possible? How can activity? You mean activity will just disappear? No, activity need not disappear, will not disappear. If activity disappears, that means Maya is gone. Maya is there, Prakriti is there. Activity will not disappear. And so, well, we discussed that in the Gita class and Upanishad also. So, being active, naiva kinchit karometi, pashyan shridvan sprishan jigran. Hey, while doing all that thing itself, naiva kinchit karometi, that bhava is very important, right? So, jnanena, yad vijnanat, nahi jnanena sadrisham, pavitramiha vidyate, nahi jnanena. So, that jnanena, yad vijnanat, sarva samsara uparamaha bhavati. Sarva samsara. At the level of karta, I am bound. I am bound. As a karta, I am bound. I have to do things. And what about karma phalam? All the results I am experiencing, bhokta. Bhokta also. I want certain experiences, I don't get. I don't want certain experiences, I get that experience. Okay, bhokta also is constantly bound, looking for something else. And pramata also, knower. As a knower also, it's not fulfilling. It's not fulfilling. I know I'm not able to know. I know things that are useless thanks to WhatsApp. And there are things I need to know that I'm not able to know. So all these frustrations, in these kinds of limitations are there. So it's these kinds of burdens. So whichever way you look at it, samsara, that is samsara. Okay. Then what happens? Avijnat, avijnanat cha, that is the way to split that compound, not a compound, sorry, the sandhi. Avijnanat cha. If you don't know that, then what happens? If I don't know this Brahma, what happens? Yasya maranam prapya. When the person passes away, maranam prapya, yatha atma bhavati. Shankaracharya is nicely adding those. Because maranam prapya atma bhavati by itself means what? As though atma is changing after death. Atma has become different after death. No, it cannot become different. That's why he's adding the word avijnanatcha. If I pass away without knowing Atma, then what happens to that Atma that is there in the body called Jivatma or Karana Shariram or Sukshma Shariram or Ahankara, whatever words, various words are used in the Shastram. What happens to that traveling Atma? What happens to that Atma, right? Because you asked me about travel. Yeyam prete vichikitsa manushya, you asked me. Okay. Therefore, yatha Atma bhavati. What happens? What is the fate of that Atma? Yatha samsarati means yatha, the way it travels. Okay. Tatha shrunu, he Gautama. Hey Gautama. Gautama was referred to, his father also was called Gautama, and son also can be called like junior, senior, junior, like that. So senior Venkatraman, junior Venkatraman, like that we don't say. In India, I have not seen that. But in North and all, it might be there. Senior, junior, same names are there. Last name, of course, is the same. So we can use the word the Gautama for Nachiketa. So Tata Shrunu, that you listen to me. Listen to me means what? Pay attention. Listen to me means as though all along he's not been listening. No. Way of saying, okay, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. Be alert. Continue to be alert. Okay. That's the meaning. And this reminds us of one nice, beautiful uh, mantra from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. There is a dialogue between Yajnavalkya and Gargi. Huge dialogue is there. Major Q&A, major debate is going on. And so there's a beautiful Yova etadaksharam viditva asmal lokat preti. The one who departs this world means one who dies after knowing Atma, Atmanam viditva asman lokat preti. Preti means departs, dies. The Brahmana, that person only can be called a Brahmana. Because Brahma Janati, that person knows Brahma, therefore he qualifies himself, he or she can be called a Brahmana. Then, Yova Etadaksharam Aviditva Asmal Lokat Preti. If the person leaves this world without knowing Atma, Aviditva, he says, Atma, then what happens? That person is called what? Sakripanaha. Kripanaha, miser. Means what? He was endowed with buddhi. This is the only thing that differentiates the human animal from the human being. This one. And that gift he did not use, it seems. Therefore, he is called a Kripanaha. Like that. That beautiful mantra is there. And Kathopanishad has another similar mantra. Similar means something along the lines. Ihacheda vedi atha satyamasti nachediha vedin mahati vinashtihi. Hey, ihached aveti. While living, if you come to know yourself, then atha satyam asti. Satyam asti. He says satyam means that purpose, the life's purpose has been served. Satyam asti. Nachediha vedi. No, nached. If not, if I didn't know who I am while I'm living, mahati vinashtihi. Mahati vinashtihi. Great loss. Great loss. I've been living like a bhokta, simply enjoying, looking for more and more, and that's no use because again the same life will repeat, and what's the point? And so that beautiful upadhi called the human being has to be put to use. That is what the Upanishads are saying. So this mantra is over. This is a pretty short mantra and no major complicated words like Hiranya Garbha and Virat and all. So I think it's pretty good. I like that. All right. So what is the summary? Yama is telling Nachiketa, I will tell you the nature of Atma, Atma Swarupam, and I'll also tell you the Jiva's travel, the Ajnani Jiva's travel after death. Both I will tell you. Making a promise. Let's do the Anvaya. Anta He Gautama. Something like, well, oh Nachiketa, something like that. Yeah, Maheshji.
I'll ask after the Anvaya is complete.
Sure. Anta He Gautama, idam guhyam Sanatanam Brahma, idam guhyam Sanatanam Brahma, te pravakshyami. Full stop. Okay. Idam guhyam sanatanam brahma te pravakshyami. Yatha maranam prapya. Yatha maranam prapya. Atma bhavati. Yatha maranam prapya atma bhavati. Tat cha aham pravakshyami. Tat cha aham pravakshyami. Except the everything else in brackets. Tat aham pravakshyami. All three words in brackets. Tat cha aham pravakshyami. That also I will tell you. That's the meaning. Okay, let's repeat this. Hanta he Gautama, comma, idam guhyam sanatanam brahma te pravakshyami. Full stop. Yatha maranam prapya atma bhavati, comma, tatcha aham pravakshyami. Full stop. See, when you reorganize and put a few words, now suddenly the meaning of the sentence just comes in. Yeah, Maheshji, go ahead.
Two things. What is the meaning of Chirantanam?
Chirantanam, same as Sanatanam. Sanatanam is equal to Chirantanam. Chiram, literal meaning of Chiram is long, long time.
Like
Like
Chiranjeevi.
Chiranjeevi.
Chiranjeevi, correct. Chiranjeevi.
In Kannada, we call it Navya Nutanam.
Nutanam, okay. The Chiram is long. So here, long referring to unlimited by time, not dependent on time, length. That is Chiranta, Sanatana, Nityam. Tanam. So the tanam is a suffix that's added to words, right? Like Adyatana. Adya is today. Adyatana is today's. Today's. Did you do today's homework?
In Tamil, they make it Shiram. Shiramjeevi, they say. It is not Chiranjeevi, it is Shiramjeevi, they say.
Okay. We'll talk about it in satsang. Yeah.
Another thing is, Jagamohanji, this Hanta also means like Hanta Bhagya Jananam. In Narayaniam it comes.
What is it Hanta or Hanta?
Hanta Bhagya
Antabhagyam Jananam. Alas.
Jananam.
Alas.
Alas. Hanta there could mean alas. Alas means, oh my God, So Hanta means, often Hanta is used in that context, but I don't know. I need to look at that. Bhagavad.
There is a slokam in Sanskrit. I only remember the last line. Ha hanta hanta nalini gaja ujjahara. It seems there was a lotus flower, but in which the bee was caught inside that. So it was thinking it will become morning and the flower will open, then I will fly away. But ha hanta hanta nalini gaja ujjahara. The elephant came and it took the flower and it ate it up. Like that, there is some slokam I've read. Only the last line I remember. Ha hanta hanta nalini gaja ujjahara.
Very good, very good. So Hanta Maheshji also means this one.
Alas.
Alas. They use that word. Oh my God. Alas. All right. Next mantra. Yonimanye prapadyante
योनि मन्ये प्रपद्यन्ते
sharirattvaya dehinaha
शरीरत्वाय देहिनः
kanumanyenu sanyanti
हानुमन्ये अनुसयन्ति
yatha karma yatha shrutam
यथा कर्म यथा श्रुतम्
yonimanye prapadyante
योनि मन्ये प्रपद्यन्ते
sharirattvaya dehinaha
शरीरत्वाय देहिनः
kanumanyenu sanyanti
हानुमन्येऽनुसंयन्ति
yatha karma yatha shrutam.
यथा कर्म यथा श्रुतम्.
So that the word is anusanyanti. And when you find a symbol like that, okay, it is called avagraha in Sanskrit. That symbol, the symbol means it tells you there is an A, but you're not supposed to pronounce the A. Okay, that's the meaning there. That's why we'll say Sthanu Manyenu Sanyanti. We won't say Sthanu Manye Anusanyanti, even though the A is understood. All right. So now Yama promised two things, right? What are the two things? I'll tell you about Atma, Atma Swarupam, and I'll also tell you that this travel, the person who doesn't know about Atma has to travel. And about the travel also, I'll talk to you. Okay? And so, here in this mantra, he's talking about the second thing. The two things he promised. The second promise he's keeping up now. Okay? That's what is happening in this mantra. And he's saying, Anye yonim prapadyante sharirattvaya dehinaha. There are some people who will gain other bodies in this life. Yonim, other bodies, human bodies, okay, in this life, okay, sorry, after this life, right? And then, sthanu manyenu sanyanti, yet others, Shankara is going to explain all these others and all. Yet others will take what kind of bodies? Sthanu. Sthanu means those living beings that are stationary, like plants. Plants are stationary living beings, right? So, like that, others will take on those bodies also. And in what manner will they take these bodies? Yatha karma. This is the pramanam for us. This sentence that we are reading today is the pramanam for what Bhagavad Gita says about Punarjarma, what Shankara talks about Bhajagovindam, Punarapi Jaranam, Punarapi Mananam. Everything comes from here. Here and similar statements in the Vedas. Okay, Yatha karma. In keeping with the karma of those beings, the beings will be born again, take new lives. Yatha shrutam. Yatha shrutam. Yatha shrutam means what? There are two kinds of one is physical activity and another is mental activity. Both are important. Mentally also, a lot of unfulfilled desires are there. What did Krishna say in the Bhagavad Gita? The thoughts, the last thoughts will decide what my next birth is. Something like that. He said. I remember reading that. So that means what? That my thoughts are also very important. So yatha shrutam, Shankaracharya will explain. Shrutam, Vijnanam, he is going to say. Okay. Upasanam, sometimes that word is used. Means what is there in the mind? What did I fundamentally desire? What was that desire? What are all the desires that kept me awake in the night? That is what is Shrutam. That's the meaning of this mantra. All right. So let's read the Bhaashyam. Yonim
योनिं
Yonidvaram
योनिद्वारं
Shukra Samanvitaha
शुक्रबीजसमन्विताः
Santaha
सन्तः
Anye Kechit
अन्ये केचित्
Vidyavantaha.
विद्यावन्तः
Okay, did you say Avidyavantaha
अविद्यावन्तः
Mudhaha
मूढाः
Prapadyante
प्रपद्यन्ते
Sharirattvaya
शरीरत्वाय
Sharira Grahanartham
शरीरग्रहणार्थं
Dehinaha Dehavantaha
देहिनः देहवन्तः
Yonim
योनिं
Pravishanti
प्रविशन्ति
Ityarthaha.
इत्यर्थः
So, Shankaracharya is explaining that first half of the mantra. Dehinaha yonim prapadyante. That is the main sentence. Dehinaha means people who are living with their respective bodies. They're all there. And so those people, Dehinaha, Yonim prapadyante. Literal meaning of yoni is womb. That's the meaning of yoni. And prapadyante, they gain these wombs like that. Yama is saying, all right. So, what kind of dehinaha? Anye, that anye goes along with dehinaha. Anye dehinaha. And Shankaracharya is saying, Kechid avidyavantaha mudhaha. They prapadyante, yonim prapadyante. That is the way to form the sentence. Anye, literal meaning is anye, others. Others, that's a literal meaning. And he's saying, Kechid avidyavantaha. Some people who have avidya, literal meaning is one who has avidya is called avidyavan, avidyavati. And so those who have not bothered to study the Shastram and therefore pass away as avidyavantaha, they pass away like that. We saw in the Upanishad. What is that? Nachediha vedi mahati vinashtihi, right? In Kenopanishad. And so such people, mudaha. Mudaha, we also saw in Bhagavad Gita. Prakrite kriyamanani gunaih karmani sarvashah ahankara vimudhatma kartahamiti manyate. Ahankara vimudhatma. So the person who considers himself as a karta, that poor person dies away. Okay, when such a thing happens. And such people, yonidvaram shukra bija samanvitaha. Okay. Yonidvaram, they enter the passageway of the womb. Passageway of the womb. Which is shukra bija samanvitaha. Bija is seed. A womb that is endowed with this sperm, that male seed. That is what Shankaracharya is saying. And Shukra Bija. Shukra is also is used for the word sperm. Bija Samanvitaha. Santaha. So those kinds of yonis which have the capacity to hold on to life, which has the capacity to take the male seed and then combine and then form the life, new life. Okay. And Santaha. Shariradvaya prapadyante. Shariradvaya, Shankaracharya is saying, Sharira grahanartham, for the sake of acquiring another body. The jiva wants another body. That is why this body is jadam, really speaking. This body is not very important in the life. The autobiography belongs to the jiva, not to the body. And so, Sharira Grahanartham, that jiva, because of all its karma, needs to express itself, and for that expression, it needs a very particular body to exhaust its prarabdha karma. And so, that Sharira Grahanartham, for the purpose of gaining a new body, this whole process of going into a womb and all has to happen. And yonim pravishanti ityartaha. That is the meaning. The meaning is jivas enter wombs. Enter wombs. Enter whatever way. It doesn't have to be human womb. It can be anything else also. You have to add this sexual reproduction as asexual also you have to bring here somehow. Okay. So we should not take this literally. Yonim is mentioned because our primary concern is human being. Okay, that is why the words yoni, etc. are used. All right. So our Shastram talks this about the travel of this jiva. And it doesn't say directly it goes into a being, living being or not. It talks about it enters cloud, it goes to Swarga, it enters the clouds, and then Bhumi, there's a particular Bhumi, the clouds will, through rain, it enters the Bhumi, then it enters, becomes a seed, then it becomes a plant. All these, the Chandogya Upanishad lists all this process. Okay. And so in a way, how can a jiva be born as a cloud which is inert? Cloud is not a living being, living thing. Like that, if you ask, Shastram talks like that. It talks as though the cloud also is another living being. Yeah. Rain is another living being. It doesn't distinguish. That's how it is. And so, and then Yonim Prapadyante is the fifth stage. This Yonim Prapadyante in this mantra is the last stage, really speaking. Okay? And so therefore, the mother is not really creating the body. The mother is nourishing. Already everything is decided. And the place is right. The womb is the best place for the new being to survive, to begin its life, right? And so, so that is how this is. So Shankaracharya explained the first sentence. Let's move on to the next one. Anum.
Sthanum.
Yeah. Vrikshadi.
Vrukshadi.
Thavara bhavam.
Sthavara bhavam.
Anye.
Anye.
Atyanta adhamaha.
Atyanta adhamaha.
Maranam prapya.
Maranam prapya.
Anusanyanti.
Anusanyanti.
Anugachanti.
Anugachanti.
Yatha karma.
Yatha karma.
Yad yasya karma.
Yad yasya karma.
Tad yatha karma.
Tad yatha karma.
Yaihi.
Yaihi.
Yadrisham karma.
Yadrusham karma.
Iha janmani kritam.
Iha janmani krutam.
Tadvashena.
Tadvashena.
Iti etat.
Iti etat.
All right, let's pause there. He's explaining the word sthanum, second half. We are now entering the second half of the mantra. Yatha cha maranam prapya atma bhavati Gautama. That is being explained here. Sthanum. And sthanum can be anything. Anything stationary is a sthanum. A mountain is a sthanum. A stone is a sthanum. A building is a sthanum. Everything is a sthanum. But here we are talking about living sthanums, right? And so it refers, Shankaracharya is saying, Vriksha adi sthavara bhavam. Sthanum means anything that is living and which is stationary, like trees, etc. He says, etc. So it can be other beings also that we may not know, maybe underwater, there can be other species, right? And so, anye, that this Vrikshadi Bhavam, who is going to gain this life? Anye. Same word Anye was mentioned the first half also. Again, the same word of yet others. And Shankaracharya is helping us by saying, Atyanta adhamaha. Atyanta adhamaha. So, previously he said Muda. Okay, equal to Avidyavantah. Now, Atyanta adhamaha. Okay, what did we see in Bhagavad Gita? ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्ताः मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसाः जगन्यगुणवृत्तिस्थाः Adho gachanti tamasa.
Tamasaha.
Okay, like that we saw recently. And so, same thing here also. Adho gachanti tamasaha. Those tamasaha who are atyanta adhamaha. Adhama means very, very, in terms of values, activity, behavior, everything, just you can't even talk about it. That is the meaning of atyanta adhama. And what happens to them? Maranam prapya, having died, having passed away, anusayanti, anugachanti, they follow. They follow. Yatha karma, yatha shrutam is going to come later. They follow. Where do they attain? They gain. They gain sthanum. That word sthanum has to be brought here now. Sthanum. They gain that kind of a life. A trees, that kind of life they gain. And the tree is human being, but it can be lower lokas also. So we should bring in trees or anything further also, because we Indians are not Indians, sorry, we human beings are very creative. We can do anything. Anything we can do. That is the beauty of free will. Free will is literally free. My goodness. You can work so hard for humanity, and you can just transform civilization. That capacity we have. And the other extreme also, we finish off people, we can rob, pillage, plunder, kill, anything can be done. So, since we are all very creative, we need places. So, Shastram says we have such places also. This is somebody is cooking. Yeah, Ramaji, please mute yourself. All right. So, Anugachanti. Swami Paravidyanandaji says, another way of looking at it is Astikaha and Nastika. Like that he suggested in our class once. Yeah. Astikaha, religious people also will have next birth. They're special, but not that special. And Nastikaha also will have their own future. Okay, like that he was telling. You want to look at it like that. That appeals to you, you can look at it like that. Okay. All right. Let's read the next. We have a couple of minutes. Why don't we read this? Tathacha.
Tathacha.
Is that what we have to study?
We didn't explain
Yatha karma. Yatha karma is there. Yeah, sorry, we read that. Yeah. Yatha karma. In keeping with karma. Yad yasya karma tad yatha karma. Shankaracharya is explaining. Yad yasya karma means that which is according to, governed by one's karma, that is called yatha karma. Governed by, controlled by. And he's explaining further. Yaihi yadrisham karma iha janmani kritam tad vashena ityet. Hey, whatever karma was done by that being in this life, iha janmani, you should add past lives also, iha janmani, and tad vashena, governed by that, controlled by that, decided by that, okay, and influenced by that. By that only the next life will be. And tatha cha, see in your tatha cha, that word cha is there in Gita Press. It is not there in your book, I think, notebook. So you can add tatha cha yathashritam. Did we read that? Yeah,
No,
we
we
We are
have.
still in the previous line, Guruji.
Yeah,
Yatha karma.
yatha karma we have explained, right? Yatha karma we have explained. Let's read the next line.
What is the sentence after the yatha karma?
No, you did not. Tad
Did not.
vashene, tad
Yeah.
vashe.
No, tad vashena is, that's what I said. Whatever has been done, governed by what has been done, is tad vashena, influenced by, caused by the phalam that is created by my actions. And that phalam alone governs the future. Tad vashena. Yaihi yadrisham karma iha janmani kritam. Iha Janmani. In this Janma, whatever was done, Tadvashena. That alone determines the future. Okay. And this Janma, you should add the past Janmas also in that bucket. Everything. That bucket will decide the future. That's what he's saying. So let's read this and complete it. Back to Satsang.
What is the word after the Tadhyata karma?
Huh? Tad yatha karma. Yad yasya karma, tad yatha karma. Okay, yad yasya karma, tad yatha karma. So, whatever karma is done by you, according to that, is called yatha karma.
I'm asking about the word after that.
After which?
After yatha karma. Tadyatha karma.
Yaihi yadrisham.
Yeah, yaihi yadrisham karma iha janmani. So yaihi karma bihi. So by whatever karma that is done by whatever people, that alone decides the future. Tadvashena. So my karma will decide my future. Your karma will decide your future. Her karma will decide her future. Yaihi yadrishaihi. So the future yadrisha means like, similar to. That is the meaning of yadrisham. And so the future will be like what? Will it be like something? Yeah, it will be governed by whatever is done before. So it is not a lawless, karma is not lawless, and there is a law of karma. So that is why he says yadrisham. The future will be decided by. It will be like the karma I did. That's a little meaning. Similar to. Okay. It's already 7:30 here. Yeah, we'll continue in the next class. Let's do it properly, slowly.
The road cannot be turned U-turn. The road cannot be turned U-turn.
No, if a U-turn is part of the karma, it will come. We don't know. I don't know what you mean by U-turn. You have to explain U-turn.
And suddenly.
I don't know. Anything is possible. Who are you and me to decide what is sudden, what is not sudden? Free will, I told you, free will is very free. Today, right now, free will is very much there. Next moment after class, you only have to decide what to do after the next class. So we are very free. So let's give credit to ourselves there. All right. Om Apadamapahartaram Dataram Sarvasampadam Lokabhiramam Sriramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyaham. Om Apadamapahartaram Dataram Sarvasampadam Lokabhiramam Sriramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyaham. Om Apadamapahartaram Dataram Sarvasampadam Lokabhiramam Sriramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyaham. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you.
Dhanyawada, Jai Kumar.
ధన్యవాదాలు
ధన్యవాదాలు గురుజీ.
ధన్యవాదాలు.